It's Operation Babble with Myke Shrews. It's pop culture, music, movies, TV too. It's time to explore life. It's Operation Babble time.
Welcome back, everybody, to Operation Babble, the podcast where we talk about whatever the hell we decide to talk about. I am Myke Shrews. Here with me, as always, my co-host Tivis. Tivis, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. And video listeners, yes, that's a photo of Dan Housen.
And for people who don't know who that is,
look him up.
he's a pretty funny cat. I enjoy watching his YouTube videos and stuff, man. But he also is a wrestler, guys, too, for people who actually know.
So, as people know, we record this early. So, May the 4th be with you, Myke.
May the 4th be with you. I thought about doing a possible Star Wars thing, but I'm like, shit, we have to record because this needs to come out. This episode needs to come out.
We actually did do a little recording for YouTube
and Facebook and
Facebook and Instagram. IMDb?
No.
Okay.
And we did not drop it on Twitter. But we did do a little video. It's about a half-hour chat that we had.
25 minutes.
Something like that on Saturday of last week. So the previous Saturday. So what did we discuss real quick, just so people can hear it? We're not going to talk about it here, because if you guys want to listen to it, you can check it out. We also posted it in the Operation Babble Facebook group as well, so you can find it in there too.
Are you ready to follow up what I say?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They have canceled Legends of Tomorrow.
What the fuck, CW? What the fuck, CW? What the fuck, CW? We love you so much.
But what the fuck?
Seriously. So that's just our sadness and thoughts on hearing the news.
Yeah. I mean, they canceled on other shows too, and I'm sure they're still in their cancellation process, but yeah, that was the big one. So we decided to do like a 20-ish minute little video version of this for you guys. And hopefully if you guys like some of that, we can do some more short version content for just video people.
And he got me directly out of bed to record it. So you're getting like just woke up, Tivis, too.
Early morning shows, man. Early morning. We needed them, didn't we? Hell yeah, we did. What did we say? Woo! Yeah.
What's that is recorded that at 11.
Yeah. But still early morning for you.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So today, guys, real quick before we get into the show today, the dirty work. You can find Operation Babble on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Operation Babble. And you can find the video version of Operation Babble on the Myke Shrews YouTube channel at the moment. Still debating on whether or not I want to start a whole nother channel just for this, because I've been putting all the content there anyways. And then if you want to email us to either show up on the show, critique the show, whatever you want to do, you can email us at operationbabble@outlook.com. And then you can also, if you would please, go to whatever platform you're listening to us on or watching us on, anything like that. Hit some like button, star us, whatever, and
tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Leave a review.
That helps more than anything.
Yes. Doing any of that stuff and telling a friend definitely helps the show out. It lets us know what we're doing good, what we're doing bad, what
you would like to see us improve.
Right. So we would definitely appreciate some of that stuff, because we are hoping to build the show even more. Now that we've been going for 138 episodes as of today.
Is that the episode number?
Yeah. I did not say that at the very beginning. So yeah, we're 138 episodes in as of today. So we appreciate everybody sticking around with us who have been with us since day one. I know there's been lots of changes. since the very first episode for sure. And we're going to continue on changing stuff up. Why not? Things need to evolve and change throughout. Otherwise, they're just going to be stale and boring. We are the legends of tomorrow for pop culture podcasting. Tivis, don't worry. I won't recast you yet. A revolving door.
I'm sure it's only a matter of time before Mosier see where I'm sitting.
That would require me having to record on separate days. So yeah, definitely thank you guys for all hanging out with us still. And we are going to dive into the show today. And also, when this episode drops, Tivis, what has been released in theaters?
Well, in some places it's already out as we record, but Multiverse of Madness is now out for everyone to watch, unless you're in South Carolina. Some theaters there are getting the movie for some reason.
Sorry, South Carolina people.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, I wish everyone a spoiler-free week, unless you want to know it. But this movie looks like it will be a really fun one to go into, knowing as little as possible. And I wish Disney would stop trying to force 15-second ads down my throat on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. I've avoided social media for a long time, and I accidentally
not for this movie though.
for Doctor Strange, I went on to Facebook yesterday, I think it was, and somebody had posted a fucking picture, a screenshot, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like 2-3 days before the movie's about to come out, really? You're gonna do that shit? Like, and in the comments and stuff, because I wanted to see like what people were saying about this, like if they were ripping apart, like they were like, oh, I don't know why people are so like freaked out about seeing spoilers. I'm like, it's a fucking spoiler, duh. Like some people, I'm sorry, going on a tangent real quick. Some people love to watch these things for the first time in theaters or, at home, if that's how they have to watch it for the first time and be surprised by these things. It's like I wouldn't, and spoilers for Endgame, I wouldn't have wanted to see Captain America get Mjolnir before I went to the theaters. And like, because if everyone would have seen that, you wouldn't have had the awesome crowd audience, the audience reaction. That's why we don't like spoilers. We want to be able to react in live time.
Some things are better being an experience.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I'm very inexperienced.
Before we jump into the movie, though, I don't know if you're done with your theater topic.
I just wish that people would be more respectful to the world, like especially before the movie comes out. Like I know the movie is released in several other, like in other continents and stuff, but if the movie hasn't been released, everywhere, be a little bit more respectful. Don't show like screen grabs. And you might be thinking that you might think that you're doing something entertaining for your friends or whatnot. We don't want to know. We really don't want to know. Like, just if we wanted to know, we'd go and look for it on those other sites that are already breaking the embargo when they shouldn't be. So yeah, now I am done.
One of the people I listen to, I haven't heard from him in quite some time because he's one of the many previous hosts of Comic Geek Speak, who you guys might remember Ian being on the show last year. I don't know how he did this because he used to work at Toys R Us, but his name is Pants, or that's his nickname, what everyone calls him. And he worked at Toys R Us, yet he managed to somehow see these movies going in blind every time. He would not watch a trailer. He would leave the room whenever anyone would talk about it on the podcast. Like he did his best. He, blocked his hearing and closed his eyes during trailers before going to see the movies that he saw.
Yeah.
It's incredible the lengths, but it's like while I personally am fine with seeing the very first trailer, there are people like him out there who want to view these things blind. Like I feel that way with Stranger Things coming out here in a couple weeks. I have watched every season blind, and I feel like that's kind of why I'm still on board where other people have fell off.
I haven't seen any marketing for the new season, so I don't know.
It's out there. It's out there.
I don't really care if it's something I know I'm going to watch regardless. I don't need the trailer, you know. And like for Marvel and stuff like that, like you said, you watched some of the trailer stuff. Like so with Iron Man 3, I only watched the very first little teaser thing, which was like with the Mandarin and stuff, fake Mandarin, and that's it. And I was like, this is freaking awesome. It's gonna be so dope. It's gonna be dark. Granted, that was kind of a letdown, but at the same time,
I didn't think so.
I didn't see the scene in theaters that everyone saw in the trailer with all of the suits coming together. And in theaters, not knowing that was ever going to happen, it was freaking awesome. I was like, oh shit.
That's all I need is, unless you're Sony, a little taste to get me hyped.
Sony's going to put stuff in a trailer for a movie that's never going to be released. So.
Sony will put the entire film in a trailer and doesn't realize the problem. It has been years. Why have you not realized? We don't want to know the ending. Stop putting the ending in the trailer.
I don't think so, because with Morbius, they put so much in that trailer and like none of that shit's in the movie.
I feel like Marvel forced them to remove. I can't wait to see that movie, dude.
There's so much in that trailer, Morbius trailer, that I was just like waiting for the things to show up in the movie. I'm like, where
did they at least keep the Venom reference?
Yes, that's the one thing that they kept.
Okay. Which we're getting a couple more of those. You know, Bad Bunny has I forget. They just announced it not that long ago. A character that's been at 2 issues of Spider-Man's entire run.
I think it's El Muerto. Is that
right? Yeah, something like that. So whatever.
How is Sony going to do an actual luchador character before fucking DC does Bane as a real luchador? Fuck you guys. Fuck you, DC. Like, get your shit together.
But the one thing I wanted to say is someone who recently befriended me, I'm not sure why, because I usually drive people away, is a really awesome guy named Ryan Dose. We were trying to get him on the show. Scheduling is a pain because my schedule is a pain. But anyway, he's doing this 10-part podcast called Podcast Supreme with someone else. He's not very knowledgeable of Doctor Strange. So they're doing this show to kind of get himself more informed on the character. And it's a really good primer, I guess, if you want to know more about the character. And he also does other shows, like his flagship show Across the Bifrost, because he's a huge Marvel Norse fan and loves Thor. And he also has one with his wife called Muggles, Magic, and Mischief about Harry Potter, that they go chapter by chapter through the books. They're about to finish the first book next week, I believe. But he's great, well-spoken guy, very knowledgeable, and is very hungry for knowledge. So they are great introductions to the character. If you want to know more before seeing Multiverse of Madness, I believe the 3rd episode of his show drops this week, if I didn't say that already. Or after you see the movie and you want to know more.
Right.
Because Doctor Strange is one of those weird characters where it's a huge, a lot of people know him, but he can't hold a book to save his life.
Well, not only that, too, is like the movies don't do his character nearly as much justice. At least from what we've seen so far, I mean, Cumberbatch is fucking awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'll watch him in anything. But yeah, like the movies just don't do the actual story arcs and stuff justice. And I feel the same way is going to be for Multiverse of Madness this week when I go see it. I feel like it's not going to do the character justice. I feel it's gonna And I've said it since day one. I feel the movie's just going to be a setup for so many other fucking things. Like, I just can't.
Kind of like Eternals.
Yeah, kind of like Eternals. Except I think there's going to be even. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. Because I haven't watched anything of it, and like I said, I saw one little set photo. But I was annoyed by that. I'm not even referencing that in my conversation here.
Yeah. At least you didn't see the toys like you did with Thor.
I had the toys for this one. Well, no. Did I get the toys for this one?
Multiverse of Madness?
No, I didn't want any of the toys. I've seen the toys for this one. Well, at least the main figures like Strange, Chavez, and Wong. I saw those three. The other ones you don't see those in stores anyways, because they're the ones that everyone wants. But the only one of those I even wanted to consider getting was Chavez, because they don't make her really. And Doctor Strange, once you've had one Doctor Strange figure, that's the same fucking thing basically.
It's just toys and Legos, man. They like to ruin things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, that's why I respect Disney still a little bit for not putting out Grogu shit, baby, immediately. But they should have had it lined up to get out, if anything. Anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. People are here today to listen to us talk about our road to Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, which my wife criticized the other night, I will add. She said she could have came up with a better name, and I said, well, it's done this week, so screw you.
Let's be honest, Tivis, I thought the same thing. but you called it that, so I was just gonna let it be. I'm giving you some creative.
Well, you know what? I stole it from WWE, so it's uncreative Vince McMahon bullshit.
Exactly. Don't sue us, WWE.
Oh, it's two words together. Bring it, Vince.
Road to. Yeah, no, it's totally not as catchy as some of our other things have been. But you know what? I'm letting you learn, sir. I'm letting you figure it out. And at least it was
listeners,
your
if you
first
would like to complain about my naming format, please find us on Twitter and Instagram now, and join our Facebook group and berate me like my wife and Myke his.
If we would watch these both of these movies, and like if people don't remember, last week or last episode we watched the 1978 Doctor Strange film, which we ended up actually liking. I thought from both of us.
I actually bought it, and immediately the day after I bought it, Shout Factory is like, "Hey, new version." Yeah,
the Blu-ray version of it. So yeah, Shout Factory already released that now, and you can find the 1978 on shoutfactory.com, I believe it is, or just shout.com. I don't remember the name of the web URL exactly. Google it, and I don't get paid for that shit.
Yeah.
So so we watched that and we enjoyed it, and then we watched this week's movie, which is Dr. Mordrid, which we'll get into in a minute. But honestly, if we would have watched these both before we came up with like the title and stuff like that, and say we hated them both, we could have just called it Multiverse of Sadness.
I thought you were going to go with Driving Us Madness.
See,
that's terrible. What the hell is that?
What?
That was awful. Don't let me name things.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that shit. Oh shit. Okay. Well, anyways, Tivis, do you got anything else before we dive into this real quick?
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about this weird movie.
Okay. All right. So we are going to dive into the 1992 film Dr. Mordrid right here, if you're watching the video, starring Jeffrey Combs, and it's called Dr. Mordrid, Master of the Unknown is the full title of it. And
I want to point out this poster they have on Wikipedia. It's the one of the very bold right above the credits and stuff at the bottom.
Mhm.
It says on video cassette. So you could tell this is early 90s. We haven't even come up with VHS as a term yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 1992 is when it came out. And this film was released through Full Moon Entertainment, or distributed, which is also Full Moon Features. If people are familiar with them, they're the same company who did like all Puppet Master. Yes, thank you very much. He's stealing my thunder there.
Evil Bong.
Oh, I think they did Gingerbread Man too.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And
The Dead Hate the Living. That's what I recognize.
Toys. They're the ones who we can thank for Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, starring Corey Feldman, by the way. And that movie was a trip to watch. I like Corey Feldman with stuff, so I'll watch him in anything. You know, he's the voice of Donatello. Come on, man. So anyways, back to this movie. So Dr. Mordrid, for people who don't know some of the history of this film was actually supposed to be a Doctor Strange movie for 1992. And what happened was they were about to go film this thing. Like they were in production basically of this movie, and the licensing fell through.
It expired on them. They waited too long.
Thank you. So the licensing expired, and what happened was they had the script. They just redid it as Dr. Mordrid. And you can really see what elements they kept from Doctor Strange and where they probably did some rewrites here and there.
Yeah,
definitely.
Do you want to go into some of those?
Go ahead. You can.
Clearly, his costume is Doctor Strange costume, just colored blue. I'm wondering if his blind laser gun friend was meant to be Wong originally.
I think so.
And the big bad was clearly Baron Mordo.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things that
their friends that learned how to do the shit. Yeah. I really enjoyed. I love the fact that in the 1978 film, we didn't get the amulet, but we got it in Dr. Mordrid.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the amulet. I forgot about the amulet.
So we actually got an amulet in this film. We're going to spoil some stuff of this, but we're not going to go through this beat by beat, just like we did the 78 version.
Yeah. We're just talking about things that are notable. We didn't like, stuff like that.
Did you notice the intro to this film before they get to actual, like him talking or anything like that? The scrolling.
I wasn't paying that close attention for the first half hour. I'll be honest.
Okay, so the scrolling when they're doing just the intro before they get to Dr. Mordrid and stuff talking, it reminded me so much of the exact same scroll sequence from 78 Doctor Strange. Like
That's
it was
interesting.
It was just going through like his like room or whatnot. Of showing off like the books and all these different like mystical things.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
And
that was actually nice. I liked getting a look at this sanctorum,
which they did the same sequence in the 78 Doctor Strange at the very beginning before we get anything.
Yeah. Also, before we go too far into this, if you haven't seen this and you're curious to watch it before hearing us, it is for free on Tubi.
Yeah, so go there. Let's watch and come back, or you can buy the DVD for $7 on Amazon, because that's what I did.
But then you got to wait for it to arrive.
2 day shipping.
Don't wait 2 days to listen to us. Go watch it on Tubi.
And the nice thing is this is only an hour and 14-minute film too, so it's pretty fast in time anyways.
Yeah.
There's some slow points in the film for sure, but yeah. So we go through the intro, and then we get Dr. Mordrid standing there talking up at the cloud. And at
the monitor, which is clearly the ancient one.
Yeah, the monitor. Which
is funny because Marvel has a monitor too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, or the Watcher. It could have been like their Watcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I did not like though, however, they do these like cheap ass slow-mo shots to like, I don't know if it was to like make it more dramatic or if it was to like put more time on the film or what. But it was like during this like what was the stuff they were stealing? It wasn't plutonium, was it?
That was later on. Let's see. It was plutonium. They stole blood from some chick, which, now that it's not a Marvel film, they can have a naked girl.
Oh yeah. And that's like the only thing I really think that made this a rated R film.
Yeah.
And I think they dropped the F-bomb a couple times. And that's about it.
They don't have what he takes listed in the plot on the Wikipedia plot is 3 paragraphs. So that's,
I think it was a plutonium thing that he kind of stole at the very beginning.
There was plutonium that was like the last ingredient, but there was something else. Oh, was it diamonds or something? Yeah, diamonds, blood, and plutonium.
Yeah, it was the diamonds. So he's stealing that. That's when this sequence comes where like they do these random slow-mos and stuff. Like he has a guy that ends up shooting himself in the head, and they do it off camera, of course.
Cabal is the big bad.
Yeah. Which I love the actor. He's done a lot of good stuff. Like he was
Brian Thompson.
Yeah. He was several demons in Buffy. He was vampires in Buffy. He was
on X-Files. He's been several characters, Star Trek.
Star Trek.
You saw the promotional stills for the new episode of Young Rock that is out by the time people listen to this?
Yes.
The guy who is playing Triple H in that episode looks just like this actor in this movie.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, wow. Could that be the same guy? But I'm like, no, this movie was 30 years ago. Like almost exact, actually. Wow. September.
Yeah. But there's a lot of good actors in this, I think. Brian Thompson, Jeffrey Combs, of course, are two of my fan favorites. Jeffrey Combs is like, I'm a huge fan of him ever since I watched Reanimator. Which is an awesome movie. Go watch it if you have not. And you can skip Bride the Reanimator and the other one. But I've seen all of them. I like them all, but the Reanimator, the first one's the best one. Anyways, Jeffrey Combs is fucking awesome. He's done multiple characters in Star Trek as well, because you just change the makeup up. Yeah, sure, I'll go with that.
Makeup up.
Do we want to try and figure out? So, Doctor Strange, of course, would be like, we all know who Doctor Strange is, kind of. So for Dr. Mordrid, he's from another dimension.
Yeah.
In this. So they changed that element up. And he's sent to Earth to protect the Earth from Cabal.
Yeah. Cabal wants to open the gates of hell with the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
Not the Sorcerer's Stone, you American weirdos.
So yeah. But that's basically the premise of this. However, we find out later that they had Cabal locked up the whole time before. So for like 100 and some years, Mordrid was just on Earth for just chilling.
Just in case.
In hopes that the guy would break out so they could, ultimately just kill him. Why not just kill him when you had him in captive? Like, when held him captive? Like, come on. Whatever.
Yeah. And during that time, he purchases an apartment, which I thought was a cover story. But no, he actually turns out to be the landlord of this building.
The building, I think it's probably because they were literally making this shit for the movie, dude. And that was probably going to be the Sanctorum.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, it pretty much was.
Yeah. he just didn't. He lived in one area instead of the entire.
Which, I mean, that would be an interesting concept too, if the Sanctorum was an apartment.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd watch that. Go Marvel. Where's that?
I have to stop Baron Mordo, but first I must wait for the plumber.
All right, so I bet you'll love this, especially any of our fans who listen to our Munster cast. They have a crow called Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes, they do.
He actually calls it Edgar Allan Poe. Why not Edgar Allan Crow? Like, come on.
I don't.
Tivis does not like.
So, yeah. Yeah. I'm not a fan of Edgar Allan Poe. Just that for anyone confused by this reaction. I want to jump to a scene specifically that I really want to talk about real quick. Can we go to the police station as he's kind of escaping? His amulet has the power to stop time. And I didn't take any notes for this because I'm like, we're not doing a deep dive, but I had to write this stuff down. I had to. So first of all, there's a police car that explodes. The exact same sound is made that will eventually get used by Saban for any explosion in the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So that made me happy. Dr. Moore, the girl that he's the love interest in this, what is her name? Samantha?
Yeah.
She goes and fetches his amulet, and it has a button that you push, and it freezes anyone who's not, closing their eyes, apparently. It doesn't matter whether they're looking, as long as their eyes are open, they're going to freeze. She presses this, they run. But before this, one of the two police officers that are holding them in place is pulling his gun out. So when they unfreeze, he fires it right in front of his partner. And the guy is like, dude, why?
I'm glad his partner was like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
well, not only that, there's another guy who's escaping from the police station. They chase him down with a shotgun. What the fuck?
Well, to be fair, that guy did blow up a cop car, so he's a little bit more of a danger.
He has no weapons on him.
They don't know that. He doesn't know if
they brought him in for processing. They had to frisk him,
but they don't know if he stole a gun on his way out from another.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's fair. That's fair. It just the escalation to some of these scenes. Like, also, did you notice anytime Dr. Mordrid would use his powers, he had the orbs that came out originated and end with his heart. Whereas with Cabal, it was like from I think around him, kind of showing the difference in their powers.
Yeah.
Where his is good intentioned and Cabal's is like, give me the power.
Right. He just wants the power.
The special effects in this were pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The budget for this was $2 million in 92. So not too bad for the lower budget film.
Yeah.
With the relationship with the girl, Samantha, I kept getting
played by Yvette Nipar.
Yeah, I kept getting vibes that from like 89 Batman. Did you get any of that, or is it just me?
Kind of.
It felt like because he's like a rich dude. He's got this nice big place, and she's kind of like a journalist. I don't really understand what she is, because she's not a officer, but
for the longest time,
in the interrogation room for some reason.
I'm like, for the longest time, I'm like, she looks so familiar. Where have I seen her? She's a detective in RoboCop, the TV series. She plays Lisa Madigan.
Oh, the TV show. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I know I've seen her in something before, and it's RoboCop.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what she is. They don't have her occupation listed here, nor do they really express. She's like some kind of detective, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But can we talk about Jay Acavone? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Acavone. Yeah.
I really enjoyed his like not knowing what the hell's going on, but kind of asshole cop
Yeah.
performance. I kind of just like the actor in general because he was in Stargate, but it's like some of the performances in this, they're so 90s, especially, the whole evil people being rock enthusiasts. That pissed me off. I'll be honest.
Why?
Just the whole stigma back. Every decade we have to have a new symbol for Satan. Comics, D&D, rock and roll music, metal.
Oh, so you think because they were the heavy metal people, they were trying to play on that as why they were part of it?
Yeah. So that rubbed me wrong, but
I don't need to know what rubs you, Tivis.
Going back to the special effects though, I got distracted. I thought they were amazing in this. Like for a 90, like I'm trying to compare it to the 70s, which the 70s effects looked cleaner. I'll give them that.
Mm-hmm.
But these ones, like the technology had evolved for they could do cooler things, like fucking energy. Like he's got a scene, Mordrid, where he's pumping crystal shards into himself, and you're wondering why are you doing this? And then you see why.
Yeah,
he like throws them as an energy at his opponent, which he then uses again against the opponent at the end.
I'm trying to think of other movies like around this time frame that would have used like the CG kind of effects to compare it to those. There wasn't a whole lot. Like you had Alien 3, but I don't really think they used a lot of CG stuff.
That's a lot of practical.
I think Lawnmower Man is probably your main one, which they were like cheesy, like CGI, kind of like a reboot. The TV show back in the day was. Other than that, not a whole lot. A lot of things were just practicals and stuff like that. So I don't.
Yeah, that's actually
Batman Returns come out, but Batman Returns didn't use.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of these little kind of lower budget type things that were pushing the end of pushing what they could do with CG until George Lucas came around. I think George Lucas might be the one that kind of brought it more mainstream with his prequels. Because now that you mention it, there's not a lot in the 90s that used. When did Terminator 2 come out? Was that 90s?
95, I want to say.
So that's going towards the later half because Phantom Menace was 99.
91 was Terminator.
That was 91?
Yeah.
Wow. I wouldn't call that one a small budget movie.
No.
Yeah, it's interesting. I never really thought about that. That's what I'm going to look into more.
Here's the difference. Okay. Mordrid came out a year later, $2 million budget. Terminator 2, a year before, $102 million budget. So they can afford to make some choices with their CG stuff. And a lot of the stuff in Terminator 2 also, besides the T-1000, was it T-1000? Yeah, the T-1000, like not much was really CG. Like the Terminators you see walking along in the wasteland and stuff like that, those aren't CG. Those are like puppeteered.
Yeah.
At least they used to be. Like, who knows? They probably went in and CG them now in remastered versions. But like besides
Possibly, yeah.
2000, like you had like the the one robot that was all he was.
Number 5 is alive. I like that. That was mostly practical too.
Johnny number 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Short Circuit, sorry.
Short Circuit.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of it. I just had the live wire in my head. I'm like, no, that's a song.
But yeah, you're right. A lot of like the companies kind of like this where they were dealing with different things. They were always just trying new stuff, and let's use this effect. It'll look cool, and hopefully it will boost our movie too, because it's doing something that other movies, these bigger budget movies, clearly have the budget to do, aren't doing. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, we even got a little bit of stop motion in this as well.
Yeah,
with the demons coming out of the pipe at the end.
We'll talk about stop motion because there's a lot of stop motion in this.
I'll hold off then.
So yeah, but what did you think of him going into his what would you call it?
Astro
form, yeah, his astral dimension. As we saw Strange in 78 do, we've seen Cumberbatch do, going into the astral plane.
It was neat, actually, and clever, because again, it's like going back to when Cabal did it to him in the exact same thing. He shoots a lightning at him. He's like, I'm not actually here, stupid.
Yeah. Did you like that they basically are force projecting themselves? They're not actually going into a different plane of existence.
I thought story or setting wise, it didn't make sense. You're in Central Park and it's like the cops are after us. I'm going to lay here and be mobile. If I move, I'll be lost forever. Or if my body moves, I'll be lost forever. So don't let anyone touch me.
Yeah.
What a terrible idea.
Maybe go and hide in the bushes at least or something,
Yeah. Oh boy. It's kind of like a yo-yo, I guess. He can't just go back to his body. He has to go right back to where he was.
Have you seen a lot of films done by this production company before in the past?
Full Moon?
Besides like Puppet Master, like the big ones?
No.
The ones? No. Okay. Because they used to do, because they were cheap movies, they just had to do it where they could do it. In that location specifically, it looks like they probably did it because then they wouldn't have to have so much light. And that's another site that they didn't need to light up because it was done in the daytime. So
yeah,
that would be on my, as far as like, working on independent films and stuff like that. That's where I would think that would come into play. It's just like, you got to do what you got to do.
Now you're talking about the park or where it becomes night at the museum at the end?
The park. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because clearly you see where they spent a lot of their budget with like the CG stuff that they put in, which, by the way, guys, back then, it wasn't just like, oh, we're going to use After Effects and put this little flare in here and do it frame by frame. No, they were putting cells over top of the film or literally drawing on the film, depending, to do these effects. So that's why I was even more amazed when we saw it in the 78 version too. Yeah.
I just read a little interesting fact. Apparently, early concept art for this movie was actually done by Jack Kirby himself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also the main character was originally called Dr. Mortalis.
Mortalis?
Yeah. That's interesting. I don't like that. Mordrid has a better ring to it. I wonder who changed that. Was that Kirby or the Courtney Joyner?
It could have been anybody, dude, because it could have even been like one of the actors was like, I'm not gonna say this name. This is stupid.
It was kind of gave, especially with the stop motion that we keep teasing, but it kind of reminded me a bit of Mortal Kombat in a way, especially when he goes to that the fourth dimension with the floating rock and the hell portal.
Mhm.
You got that dude there with the laser gun.
Yeah.
It really felt like something strange out of Mortal Kombat, like modern meets fantasy.
Almost like it was made by a Doctor Strange.
Another thing, at the end when they deal with Cabal's final minion, where he flashes the guy to freeze him in place as he's trying to stab Mordrid, or she does. I forget who does it.
Mhm.
But the fact that she goes over and kicks him in the nuts before he comes back to normal, I'm like, yes, that is something that would happen. Absolutely.
It totally would. Why wouldn't you? That guy's fucking crazy, by the way, in that.
Yeah.
But they do this thing. So this rocker guy and rocker chick, like as you have said, you didn't like that. It was the 90s, bro. Like,
I know, but why?
It's the
Play
same
into
reason
that.
why like Ninja Turtles, like Bebop and Rocksteady were like punks. Like, that's what they were. And
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, there was a lot of things that warranted action like that, though, too, to be stereotypical. And not saying that it was right, but there was a lot of action being done by people that dressed in that fashion at that time. So of course the movies are going to take advantage of it. You know, it's ridiculous and stupid, especially thinking back about it nowadays. But it happened. It is no better than if they took, you know, a skinhead and we're like, oh, he's a racist in this movie. So just because it's a stereotype, you know. So we have this scene where those two meet Cabal for the first time. He just busts through the fucking thing. But it goes from them both like saying, we're going to do anything you ask of us, to cut. And now this chick is butt ass naked. The other guy's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, she clearly thinks they're about to have a good time. Doesn't end well for her.
I clearly thought they were about to have a good time because that actor is like rubbing on her something. Like, I was like, man, that has to be so uncomfortable as actors, you know?
Yeah. What are you doing?
But yeah, he kills her and drains her blood. I assumed then that meant that he had killed the boyfriend too. But no, the boyfriend is just there hanging out with him still. Did the boyfriend know what happened to? He had to know what happened to his girl. I feel like there were scenes that were cut that didn't show up.
With how scared he was when the guy's putting the immortal spell on him,
Maybe.
I kind of feel like he's like, he knows something happened. He's like, you know, I'm willing to serve you. You don't have to do this.
Yeah.
So I just saw the laser gun guy.
Mm-hmm.
He plays Grandpa Powers in Saved by the Bell, the new class, the sequel series. Ow! No. Just had a claw sunk into my toe. Someone's about to get thrown into the hall. Yeah, so like, okay. I recognize him now. He was also William in the Beauty and the Beast show.
Mm-hmm. I didn't like that they took his cool look away, like almost instantly.
Oh, his eyes.
Yeah, like
he melted the eyeballs.
I understood
okay,
why they did it, because they wanted to show Mordrid was powerful and stuff and good.
Yeah,
but at the same time, go on.
Well, I was gonna say I like that explanation for the makeup as well, because they're not hollow, so clearly he didn't take his eyes,
right?
But if he melted them onto his face, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. But I thought he looked a lot better with his eyes melted than when he fixed them, because then he just looked like a doofus.
Oh. I'm trying to find the guy who played Cabal's minion, and I can't remember his damn name, but it's not on Wikipedia. They don't give him credit at all. So I'm just trying to guess from the list of names here on IMDb. Was it Maury?
Maury? Maybe.
Or Adrian? Was it Adrian? Might have been.
I think it's Adrian.
All right. So he was played by Keith Coloris. What are you doing?
Coloris.
This cat is driving me nuts. Oh my God. She's scratching the hell out of my desk right now.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay. I'm just looking. I wanted to see what else he did because he also looked a little familiar, but I don't.
Thug in Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't think I've seen anything else with him in it. Well, maybe the X-Files episode. That might be where. But yeah, I thought he did a great job with his acting in this as well. Like, I don't think there was a bad performance, honestly.
No, they all did pretty good. I think the only thing that was weak was really the script, to be honest. Like there were some spots where it could have been tightened up a little bit more, and done a little bit better. But other than that, there's not a whole lot. He was in Beastmaster 3, by the way. I don't know if you ever watched those, but I watched those.
I've seen the first one, but that's it.
Oh, they're so bad. They're so bad. They're fun. But yeah, as far as the overall of it goes, yeah, it wasn't a horrible movie. So do you want to get into let's talk about the stop motion. Sorry.
I thought that was incredibly well done.
So on the DVD, I watched the DVD and watched some of the BTS. There's a BTS segment on there. It's not like in depth like we get nowadays, but for a low budget movie that actually did some BTS was kind of cool. For back in the day.
Yeah.
So there's the set. They go into a museum and there's some dinosaur bones and stuff like that. None of that was there. The only thing that they had on set that was a dinosaur bone was a T-Rex foot. And that was just for one shot that they did where it was in the foreground so that you could see it and the guy too at the same time.
So they did a great job with that.
Everything else were like little toys for the stop motion because they use them, of course, to do the stop motion. Not toys, sculpts, sorry. And when they do the big shot of the T-Rex's head falling down and shattering, that is still on a diorama, and it's just a bigger version of the sculpt. So no dinosaur bones were actually on set when they were shooting, except for the foot.
That's incredible because I honestly thought wow.
They
like
did
when he walks in with the kid, like, wow, look at the size of him. I remember him being bigger.
Yeah.
Like
so they built the entire diorama of that room so that they could shoot and match everything with the set.
Okay, the effects in this film just jumped for me after hearing that. That is incredible.
Another one that they did that for. So every so often when he goes to like the fourth dimension and you see the island thing there just floating. Yeah. That is a sculpt. It was made, So when they were shooting certain scenes on there, because they built a set too to kind of match it. So when they shot certain scenes, if they did a further out shot because they wanted to show off more. Yeah. If they didn't build that part of the set, they would intercut it with the diorama of the actual sculpts that they made. So when they do like a wide shot and you see more of the castle, but you see the characters there too, you have part of a set and then the rest is the actual diorama that they just cut into the film.
That's awesome.
It was really cool to see. I was like, that's fucking dope. And then we do the same thing kind of right now with CG though too, like where they'll have like little set pieces as they shoot it on green screen. So
The fact
really
I
cool.
didn't pick up on that though is incredible.
Yeah, they did a really good job of cutting it together, I thought, because I watched the film and then I didn't see a whole lot. The only things where I saw was like, okay, you can see where this was the stop motion fight at the end. But any of the fourth dimension stuff, I thought they just built the whole set like that. Because, but that's really cool. And I'm assuming a lot of the budget went into the editing and the sculpts and stuff, man, for sure.
Yeah, I gotta give props to Lauren Schaefer then. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's mind blowing because I did not know that those were models at all. They did such a good job with that. That's damn.
It was pretty cool. Especially to just watch the little BTS segment. Like I said, they didn't discuss a whole lot. Most of it was the actors talking about the characters they're playing and stuff. They didn't reference Doctor Strange at all because clearly, they probably weren't allowed to legally. And, but both the main actress who played Miss Hunt and the two directors or director duo, whatever they were, all thought they were going to do a sequel to this film.
I'm shocked they didn't, honestly, because it's not bad.
No, for real. I'm really shocked they didn't too, because Full Moon will usually throw money at random. Dude, there's like Weed Girls 2077 or some shit out right now on there. Or they did a fucking movie. I'm sorry. I love Full Moon features, but they did a movie during COVID, like during the big sprout of it. That was two girls during COVID saving Tiger King. And I was like, wait, what are we doing, guys? Like, why are we this is what we're putting our money on? Like, y'all could be making right now, go and make Mordrid 2. Why not? That should have been something they were planning when the first time they heard that a 2016 Doctor Strange was coming out. Honestly.
Oh, here's something that I didn't see was announced. Season 13 of Mystery Science 3000 is going to feature this film, and that comes out next month in June. So if anyone wants to hear their thoughts on it, I'm definitely going to be watching that episode.
They're going to make fun of it too, of course, but yeah. There's some other films from Full Moon Features though that are really good to watch. A lot of their newer stuff I think has gone really
crazy,
even more cheap, I guess. If that could happen. I'm trying to browse their selection now so I can remember the name of it. So they got Ginger, the Gingerweed Man. Oh, my dogs are barking. I think it's my doorbell went off. I think Amazon dropped something.
I didn't hear anything other than the dogs.
All right, so yeah, they got like so many dumb ones, dude, on there now. But as far as like their back catalog, their old stuff, I liked it. They have a Reanimator Reunion edition on there. Oh, I might have to check that out. Wow, these dogs are barking like crazy. So Tivis, you talk.
Okay. I was just reading up on one of the directors, Albert Band. It kind of makes sense that they would do some freaky stuff with these films if this guy is a regular with this company, because he's born in France or Paris. So, they have a different kind of sensibility of what's okay and stuff. And he was so interested in film, he worked to become an apprentice at Warner Bros., which is how he eventually spiraled. So that's pretty cool. I'm just looking at his, he's wrote a few things that I've never seen. and directed quite a handful of stuff. Robot Wars and Dracula's Dog. Yeah.
These all sound like movies I would watch.
Yeah. Prey Hysteria and Prey Hysteria 2 were the last two movies he directed.
Yeah.
But he went on to produce he's produced quite a bit. Oh, he produced Troll.
Like the first one?
In 1986.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Another thing that was on the BTS, Jeffrey Combs was being interviewed, and he was talking about how, every kid wishes to be a superhero. When kids were younger, they would tie a towel to their neck and run around. And he's like, well, maybe not all of you, but I sure did. He was like, it's every kid's dream to be, Superman or he said someone else. It wasn't Batman. But then he's like, or, now I get to play Dr. Mordrid. You could tell he was probably really bummed that he wasn't actually like Doctor Strange a little bit. But I mean, he got to make an original quote unquote superhero, I would say, because the story arc that they give this character is pretty dope. Like it would make sense. I could see this being readapted nowadays for sure.
I know this is a different company entirely, but I honestly hope, like, the inspiration that they took from changing this from Doctor Strange, it's a really good story, and I actually would not be upset like at all if there was some kind of hint or nod to it in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Honestly, I will be disappointed if there's none, because I don't know how you don't.
Yeah.
This is an awesome standalone character.
Mordrid, like you could just use that word in your background somewhere, like on a billboard or something.
Mordrid, or do like the crystal knife things that he throws as energy bolts.
Yeah. Or just have Jeffrey Combs come on because he's a fucking great actor.
We get it. You like him in Star Trek.
No, not even just Star Trek. Like, I'll be honest. The first movie I saw him in was Frighteners. And he plays a dumbass in Frighteners. So, and then I started that's where I first noticed him, I should say. But then I was like looking at this guy. I was like, what the fuck is this dumbass? And then I started seeing him in Star Trek and stuff like that. And then I watched Reanimator. And I was like, dude, this guy is like the best. Like, he has a really good catalog for sci-fi and horror stuff for sure. And he even plays HP Lovecraft in some Lovecraft thing. I have yet to watch it, but he even plays the voice, I should say, of HP Lovecraft. Which H.P. Lovecraft was like one of my favorite authors for their works.
Yeah, I should throw his name out for next year's Astromorphicon.
Oh, you guys get to like choose who you guys want to try and get there?
Yeah, well, they take suggestions from people. There's a Facebook group of people who attend.
If he shows
up, hey, who would you like to see? What's that?
If he shows up to one of the cons around here, I'm taking this and getting it signed because that would be fucking awesome.
Absolutely.
He'd probably be like, dude, like, you know about this?
More people should, honestly. I feel like this, for a movie of its time, that is, I can't believe that this wasn't, like, I know it's a bit early for HBO and stuff at that time, but how is this not like one of those early movies that HBO got a hold of? Because this would be perfect for one of those premium, obviously you can't play. Yeah, I guess if you cut out the nude scene, but then you just have a character who goes missing for no reason.
HBO would have played it. Remember, they did like Skinamax shit at late at night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or when HBO launched, this would be a perfect movie for them.
I thought. I mean, you could edit around to that nude scene maybe make it look a little darker.
I don't know if you can
it.
though, because then the character just disappears.
No. You could edit the scene itself, so it's not necessarily. Nowadays, they could go in and digitally put a bra on her or something. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. If they
She
needed
just
to
grabbed my foot and sunk her teeth in.
But yeah, because that scene came out of nowhere, dude. Like
Yeah,
that scene really just came out of nowhere, and it felt like there was stuff that should have been added before it. So I wonder how much went on the cutting room floor. Like, you know, if they were just like, all right, it's an hour 14. That's where we needed that. Let's go. Because it really felt like it could have been an hour half movie if just add in some things to close up and or, you know, introduce why this scene happened specifically. I would have loved to see his buddy from the fourth dimension come and help him fight, you know?
Yeah.
Or the Monitor do something other than just
Gunner, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Why did he have to leave at the end? I feel like, oh, the threat's gone, but also go back.
He had to leave at the end because too many humans saw him for what he is what it was. Like, he's made too much of a ruckus, basically. And so he needed to leave so that shit could die down on him.
But then they just leave his apartment and stuff. He's like, hey, take care of my Raven.
Yeah.
Like, just
That's
because
when
you
you,
go
like-
away doesn't mean they're going to stop looking for you after so much, you know.
Just sign your stuff over to this random girl that you just met that's living in your building. And
What about, I feel like this could have led into an interesting TV series, kind of like RoboCop did.
maybe
Like
this I know this didn't have any like
intention
whole
of, like, unlike
intention
the
of the show
70s.
or- yeah.
Yeah.
It probably
But
had an intention of doing a sequel after a while, but I don't think they had any intention of doing a show like the other ones did.
They could have had some cool stuff with you know, that cop not realizing Mordred's back in town and having some like close calls, like, hey, wait a minute.
Right.
Like, I feel like this could have been a really cool jumping point, kind of like what they did with Stargate, actually.
Yeah.
Even if they had to recast like they did, which is unfortunate, but I feel like the story, there's enough there that they could have easily made this long running show.
They could have. At the time, though, I just don't think that they would have.
Yeah.
You would have to get picked up by probably like Sci-Fi Network or something like that at that time in 92.
Yeah. Sci-Fi might not have been around back then, but
I don't remember when they came about.
I'm not even going to look.
But yeah, I think, I don't know. I would have appreciated like a sequel movie or something like that. But I would definitely appreciate like, you know, a Dr. Mordrid reference somewhere. Even if it doesn't happen in Multiverse of Madness, because I'm sure the movies got packed with Marvel references.
Yeah, it's probably bloated already, but even just something subtle, like a similar prop in the background or something.
Yeah.
You know, we have all these old movies coming back recently. Let's start the petition. Jeffrey Combs in Dr. Mordrid 2. I know he's 67, but who cares? Let's do this.
He's still acting. He's good. He's good to do it. A second one, at least. Let's do the trilogy. Let's get the trilogy, and then people have to recognize this fucking movie. And then let Marvel buy it. And then now it's canon. He was the Supreme before Doctor Strange. How about that?
That was the ancient one.
In another universe. Boom.
All right, now you're talking. The multiverse.
The multiverse of sadness.
You know, I'm running out of stuff that because there's not a whole lot in this I didn't like.
Mhm.
Like, it was just a fun ride through. Like I said, the first half hour I was kind of zoning in and out, and it's not the movie's fault. I had other stuff going on around me,
Yeah.
but after that point, I was absorbed.
Yeah. The beginning part of it is probably the slowest part, I will say, because we're just introducing everybody. Nothing really picks up, honestly, until you get the news.
They get to it a lot faster than the 70s one, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, I like that they didn't like pussyfoot around and be like, who is he? Where is he? Like, how does he get his powers? No, this is just a being from another dimension. And you're getting that. Because I mean, even the 2016 Doctor Strange, granted, it had a bit more in the beginning, but it took forever for him to get his like powers and all that stuff, even in that one.
It was 50 minutes before he even met the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
So it's nice having someone who's already established in the magical world, just doing magical things.
And I think this movie proves too that you don't necessarily have to have this massive backstory for something like this.
No,
because I didn't find it annoying that I didn't understand like the fourth dimension stuff. I didn't need to. It's a being from another world.
Yeah.
It would have been like if they would have introduced Thor and brought him in. Granted, more about him from the comics, but it's like you just bring Thor in and drop him in real quick, and you're just like, okay, I got it. He's a.
And now they did it with the Hulk show,
right? It just
anyone who is just watching Incredible Hulk who knew nothing about the comics, boom, there's a Norse god.
Yeah, and a blind guy who can fight.
Yeah. This is I highly recommend this one. I think I enjoyed this one more than the 70 Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that one. So that's saying something. These are two movies that I feel like people should
watch.
Yeah, should have knowledge of.
Yeah. And it's great to see that they're, you can find them both on DVD. You can find them both on Blu-ray now. I think you can find 78 Blu-ray anyways. Honestly, to a point, guys, I will let everyone know if a movie from 1978 comes out and then they say it's 4K, don't waste your money. Just get the Blu-ray because there is a certain point to where they can't make it. It doesn't matter for an extra 10, $20. It's not worth it.
And sometimes it can also look worse.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree. Like I enjoyed this one. Not having any idea of like the character already, even though it's kind of loosely based on Doctor Strange, you get to see the elements that you're like, oh yeah, they left that in the script because it was most likely, these things here, they switched some stuff around and went with it. So I really appreciate the production knowledge from both of these movies, like knowing what it took to get both of them made, what issues the production team went through, and especially with this one, knowing how much they put into that end scene where they're fighting in the museum and stuff. I'm like, that's crazy. Like you just don't, nowadays we think of it and we watch BTS and we're like, oh yeah, they're shooting on a green screen. They just put it into the computer. But in this one, they weren't shooting on a green screen. They shot on a set that they built and then added in another sculpture or prop that they also built. So, and not to take anything away from people who do CG work, because God, I know that's a lot of work too. Just doing stupid little graphics is a lot for people who don't know how to do it anyways. But yeah, I really know the knowledge of that actually can make you appreciate this shit more. As far as the story itself goes, yeah, there's some slow parts. There's definitely some slow parts in this at the very beginning. And the somber music at the beginning doesn't help with the slow parts, not seem slow. But as far as the acting goes, acting is on par. You have two really good actors leading the movie, and they're a freaking awesome actors, and both of which who love, maybe they don't love it, but the both of which who have worn a lot of prosthetics in their careers. So they're probably happy when they're not wearing prosthetics all the time.
Speaking of the music, though, I actually thought the music was real good in this.
It's good music, but like I said, with the slow parts, sometimes the music is a little too slower for those parts, because then it makes it feel like it's longer, honestly.
And this one was done by Richard Band as well, which you say you're a fan of Reanimator. He did that one.
Yep. Yeah. Dude, you need to watch Reanimator. Maybe that'll be my Halloween pick, because it's not necessarily a scary movie, but it's a unique movie, especially in the creation of some of the stuff they did in there too, which it will always get me whenever I watch an indie movie or a low budget movie. How they create certain effects will always get me.
I'm a big fan of Richard Band to begin with, because Stargate SG-1, like that, the score for that show, wonderful. The score for Smallville, wonderful. He worked on both of those. Buffy, not a fan of, but people love it. Texas Ranger, another one people love. So
score
this guy,
Buffy is perfect, dude.
Yeah,
it's almost near perfect, I will say. There's sometimes where it doesn't necessarily hit you right, but yeah.
So he's got a sound that, people gravitate towards. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, once again, I give this highly recommend to watch if you haven't already.
Oh, definitely. As far as two good movies to pick to do a road to Multiverse of Madness.
All right.
I am glad that we picked these two films, both older, both from different decades too. These are almost 2 decades apart. About a decade and a couple of years apart. And then knowing what we have with 2016 Doctor Strange, and then we're now, everybody out there who's watching or listening to us, they have the option to go and watch Multiverse of Madness now to see
30 years later.
Yeah. To see if anything from Dr. Mordrid or Doctor Strange 78 is even incorporated in there. I still think that 78 was definitely a big influence on the script for 2016.
Oh, definitely.
There's
no
a
doubt
lot
in my mind.
So, as far as any other Doctor Strange things go, if you guys out there have come across other films that feel like a Doctor Strange film, or resemble the mythos of Doctor Strange, email us or comment to us and let us know, please.
And we can rule out the animated Doctor Strange. We know that one exists.
If it's something that's not animated, if it's something that's not a Marvel, I'll put that out, because we've watched all the Marvel actual ones. So
I think we've gone near all of the forgotten movies aside from Captain America at this point.
Oh no, nope.
Nope.
Well, we'll talk about some of those. I gotta keep some secrets, man. But yeah, so as far as Dr. Mordrid, Master of the Unknown, your very final thought, if you had to put a rating on these in order of this, Strange 78 and 2016, what would your order be?
I think I would go Mordrid 78-16.
Is in best?
The worst, yeah. What I would prefer to watch again.
So you'd want to watch Mordrid before you watch 16?
Yeah, I've not been very secretive about how I feel about that. It's not a bad movie. It's just too slow for me. It's too much of an origin build up. It's like, just get to the point already.
Yeah, I can see that. It's probably what people are thinking when they listen to our show too. Just get to the damn point. All right.
We only do this every other week. We gotta get to our catch-up banter pleasantries.
Yeah. There.
How about you?
Me, I would go. See, it's a tough one because I enjoy all three of them. If I want to go production wise, or no, I would go Dr. Mordrid, Strange 2016, and then 78.
What if we threw in, what if Doctor Strange lost his heart?
Oof, that's a good one.
Yeah, I think that one would be the top of my list.
Yeah, that would have to be number one, for sure, because I enjoyed a lot of that. Yeah, that's gonna be number one.
Yeah, if anyone hasn't watched the What If series, that is one I would just watch just because it's great.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on Doctor Strange or anything else that we want to discuss real quick before we dive or jump on out of here?
The Moon Knight finale's today, and I'm excited.
Oh yeah, it is today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gotta watch that.
That show is too short. It's so good. God, I don't want to wait until they bring him back in something else, because they already said they're not doing a season 2.
Yeah. I don't know.
Damn them with these short stories that are like 3 movies in one go.
All right. Well, Tivis, with that said, my man, how did you enjoy today's episode?
I liked it.
Awesome. Today I am going to quote from Dr. Mordrid, and I will quote Dr. Mordrid himself. Here we go. This is as he is talking to the monitor. The monitor says he does not know when, Death's Head will seek him out. And it's funny too, we forgot to mention this one. The monitor at the very beginning says, the Death's Head will seek you out. And Mordred says, do you know when? Oh, go on, Tivis.
No, finish your quote.
Oh. And then he says, or the monitor says, no, and if I did, I would not stop it, like an asshole. But so that's not my quote. I'll finish with my quote after you go.
Oh, the Death's Head, I forgot to mention that. Death's Head is an actual character in the comics that originated as a Transformers villain.
Yeah.
Went into the Doctor Who comics and was left in the Marvel universe. That is a unique character that I can't believe they still referenced in this. And in fact, I don't even know if he was a thing yet. But it's just interesting to hear that name.
Right. That's pretty cool. I didn't know any of that. All right. So with that said, guys, my quote is, of course, from Dr. Mordrid, Master of the Unknown from 1992. Go check it out. Definitely. And go check out Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness as it's in theaters now. And don't spoil for your friends, please. No posting on social media for at least, a week? You think that's good? 5 days, 4 days? At least go. At least go through the weekend, guys.
I think a week is fair.
So, all right. My quote is from Dr. Mordrid. I'll meet the Death's Head and beat it back. Dun, dun, dun. Later, guys.
Later.
Peace.
You just finished another great episode of Operation Babble. You can catch every episode of Operation Babble on all your audio streaming services, including SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, and more. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Operation Babble, and join the conversation today by searching for the Operation Babble group on Facebook. Links also in the description. Thanks and have a great day.